And I can say no if I want
Right,
to.
there we go. Okay, well, I had a whole little rant, and we were so close to getting the audio 100%, and I just realized my mic was still muted for that opening sentence as well. I was just, you didn't miss anything, guys. You just missed me ranting about how uh, I love the fact that on Zoom you can just unmute anybody at will, but when it comes to
Yeah,
unmuting them, I have to politely ask if they would like to be unmuted. But hey, whatever, I just
yeah.
like, dude, talk, and it just send pings to you, get you to talk. But we should be all good. As
I
I
can say
was,
I can say no as well if I want.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can ask me to unmute, but
yeah.
I
That's
can
the
say
thing.
no.
The best I can do is just scream at you with my mic unmuted and just like Sean, talk. But hey, um, all right, let me mute that. Okay, so it should be perfect now, because the usual thing is the only problem that I had was that on the intro screen I have to add a separate audio track for stuff that's just not you, basically. Because then the whole muting saga comes in. But hey, one of these days, as I said last time, there will be one stream where it's just flawlessly styling. It gives me nightmares actually back to
Yeah,
our interview with Fabian. Where it's like that was our first like major technical issue, and it just all I had to do was just change the audio track because it's just a feature with these headphones, and it was like, oh crap, I'm gonna have to sit here in silence for a whole hour. Sean is just gonna have to talk to him for an hour, and I'm just gonna have to sit here in silence with Fabian and Nicole. So that was horrible. And then yeah, so anytime there's like technical issues, I always get like PTSD back to that moment, and I'm like, oh, I can't deal
yeah.
with it
Well,
again.
Lisa didn't. It worked when Zach was here and Sean O'Connell
Oh
was
yeah,
the
well I
guest.
mean the
That
stream had been
was
going for like 2 hours at that point, so if any technical
yeah.
issues had come up by then, we would have weeded them out, thankfully. But
The worst thing that could have happened was our stream would crash because so many people just just came into it. Like there was so many people there for when Sean O'Connell was there. Then he left, and then it was just the usual crew that watched us. And then
yeah,
Zach came, and then we had like 200 people watching us. Like, who are all these? Who are all these people?
it was just like that stream with Zach though. There was like such a dilemma because obviously I want to like tweet out and say, hey, Zach is on stream, but like if he's talking and I'm like just looking on another screen, just typing away, like yeah, just doing minding my own business, and then all of a sudden like Zach's looking at the Zoom call and I'm just like not paying attention and looking away. I feel so bad. Like this is like the greatest
Yeah,
opportunity ever to talk to him, and I'm just here looking away. But I'm just like frantic. Like I had to delete a couple of my tweets from that stream because it was just Zach live, and I just paste the link. That's all I could do. I had no time.
yeah,
I got to listen to the man because I want to hear what he has to say.
yeah. Even because somebody was messaging me while we were talking to Sean, I felt like so I don't want to be disrespectful, but then Zach could come on, so I had to be kind of careful. But yeah, it's kind of tough. You don't want to seem too disrespectful, but also you run a stream. It's hard to pay attention to everyone and then also try and set up everything. So, but no, it's okay.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean
think
it's
you mind too much.
it's such a horrible existence that we live in. Oh no, I have to like pay attention to people in the chat and who I'm talking to. Oh
Yeah,
boo hoo! Like this is such a hard
yeah.
life that I have to live. But whatever. But yeah, how's it going, man? How's it going? It's been a week, I think.
I think yeah,
Thereabouts.
it's hard to know. As we've said, the um, days it's hard to see what day we're in and stuff like this with lockdowns. But I think it was maybe a week or less than a week, and yeah, I'm okay. I'm just excited now. 19 days to go or 18 days to go for the Snyder Cut. So yeah,
It's pretty
happy.
crazy, isn't it? Like we are about to enter the month of the Snyder Cut. We are about to enter the month of it coming out, and uh,
Yeah,
it makes you feel reflective of times gone by and films gone by, and thinking like would we ever get to this stage? Would we even need like this huge army just to get a sequel made? I don't know. I'm like setting up so many segues here, but I'll stick with one. When it comes to being reflective, um, it's always nice to think back to films gone by, BVS, and Man of Steel. So, would you like to maybe discuss what it is that may or may not be happening tomorrow?
yeah, yeah. Well, if all goes well, we'll have to figure it out after the stream because
Yes.
I have no idea about any of this stuff. I need to learn and get a better setup. But I'm glad I have Lewis because he's able to do everything like that and set up streams and stuff. I'm very grateful for that. There's your 5 seconds of fame. Uh, but yeah, so tomorrow I thought maybe a live stream on my own channel. I was thinking about it for a few weeks. I wanted to like re-review Batman v Superman and Man of Steel leading up to the Snyder Cut. So I thought maybe no, it'd be even cooler instead of just me recording myself for 15 minutes and just putting it up that way. It'd be cool maybe if I did a live stream and we just kind of discussed a retrospective on Man of Steel, what we love about it, just a whole review, and especially since it's Zach's birthday tomorrow.
It is.
It's just in celebration of the great man. So yeah, it was all going well tomorrow at a certain time. I don't know yet because there could be stuff dropping tomorrow as well. We don't want to have it. We don't want to be live when something cool drops. Or something
Yeah.
like we don't want to miss it. But because it's his birthday and there probably will be something that drops. But yeah, so the live stream tomorrow. I don't know what time yet, but we'll have some guests. Lewis will be there. I'll be there. I'll ask around. Well, once we can figure out the stream tonight and see how it's going to work, then I can start asking people if they want to join. So yeah, just probably 60 minutes tops. So just everyone talking about their love for Man of Steel, and we'll do the same for Batman v Superman then in a few weeks, a week or two, and then we'll have before Justice League comes out, the day before, we'll have a Zack Snyder's Justice League pre-party, where I'm just gonna, I think about bringing everybody, not everybody, it'd be hard to get every single person in the Snyder community, but most people who I'm friends with on Twitter and stuff, to come on and just talk about their excitement for the movie coming out the next day and just have a good positive stream.
Hell yeah. Well, that would be great. So, if I can remember, I will put a link to your channel in the description later. But yeah, so hopefully we will be doing a stream on Sean's channel tomorrow. Everything Man of Steel, and it'll be great. And as he said, we'll do one for BVS approximately like halfway between tomorrow and Justice League coming out. But yeah, so that would be cool. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. Hopefully, that should be cool. But I think that's really it. We're gonna get cracking on.
Are you okay, man?
Nobody ever talks about
okay?
me. We just ask Sean if he's okay, and then we get right into the stream. That's all anybody cares about. I am grand, thank you. I'm having a great old time. And I cannot meaningfully segue that into Motherbox conversations, but we did recently have, what was it, yesterday? My concept of days just lost me now. We had it was yesterday. IGN FanFest had a panel dedicated to Zack Snyder's Justice League. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's really good. It's about an hour. Load of questions from IGN and from the fans, which was really interesting.
And the girl that did it, I forget her name now. Her second name is Schwartz. She did a great job at the interview. It was very interesting, good flowing conversation, and some hard questions for Zach. I don't think Zach was expecting some of the questions that he got, which was actually pretty interesting. Are you going to come back for the sequel? What can we expect another female superhero in this? So some tough questions for Zach, but I thought it was actually very interesting. I'll have to go back and watch it again because there was actually so much stuff in it.
Yeah, like half the time I'm just kind of like, with Zach, it's like two layers, right? It's the stuff he says and then stuff he doesn't say, and you're just trying to like work out if he's trying to tease things or if he's always very deliberate about his word choices and his teasers and stuff like that. So it's always fun when you're watching interviews with him and whatnot, because you're just trying to break it down as best you can. But then he brought with him this awesome Motherbox teaser where each of the Motherbox sides has a different league member. And we have Time by, oh god, I can't remember his name. Tom Waits, was it?
Tom Waits, yeah.
That's it. First time. Yep. And yeah, really, really nice. Gave off, I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but really nice kind of Watchmen vibes I got. Like, it's just very reminiscent of the opening to Watchmen. It's just this kind of like slow, kind of tells you everything you need to know in the space of one song. And I mean, yeah, like if you hadn't seen Justice League before, you hadn't seen these characters before, you'd be like, you would just get all the information that you need from that. Yeah. But yeah, what did you think? I'll get up the first image. But what did you think?
It's awesome, yeah. KC reminded me it's Terry. So her first name was Terry. She did a great job, I thought.
Really good.
It was a great interview, and she got a lot of love on the timeline as well from people saying well done.
Rightfully
she kind of replied to a lot of people too. So that's awesome. Yeah, but it felt like an opening that was very Watchmen-esque, as you said, like just a really cool piece of music over it and some really cool visuals. And Zach said he hand drew a lot of these stuff.
Yeah,
which is it's crazy. And yeah, it was awesome. I liked it. And the song obviously suited the time, was a big influence on what we were seeing with the Flash, Wonder Woman, with the Watch. So yeah, I thought it was awesome, and that's the first one you've up there now, Cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, well, like it's so detailed, and Zach said there's millions of Easter eggs in this whole entire video, and it's I don't know, we'll probably miss a lot as well, but I thought it was cool.
So this is like a nice what is it called? The Vitruvian Man, I believe, is the equivalent.
Yes,
that Cyborg is doing here. One thing that I noticed that I didn't hear too many people mention, and I have to listen to the song. This isn't like, whoa, you know, I saw Justice League 3 in this picture. I'd have to listen to the song to see if it's from the audio track or whether it was added in for this, but in this shot you can hear tires screeching for the car crash. I haven't seen anybody mention that in the timeline. You can hear like a very faint in the background. But yeah, obviously for Cyborg's backstory. So that was something that I noticed. I think a lot of the stuff that you see seems to just be like wreckage, I guess. There was, right at the start, we had you saw his football helmet. Was like one of the first things to appear. And I think a tire as well. I think right in front of the football helmet was a tire. So, you know, the car crash galore. But anything you saw here that maybe somebody else hasn't spotted? Yeah,
his left arm seems to be half broken, and there seems to be another arm at the back as well, because we know that he has 4 arms in the Nightmare timeline or something like that. So yeah, that's what it looks like. His of course the red as well at his knees and in the center of his torso, and then of course with his eye as well. So yeah, it maybe to show that he's being broken apart, but. Is he being born from the mother box as well? Is he just being pushed out from the mother box? It's really visually striking, and yeah, I didn't really see any other details. Of course, the tire as well, the helmet. Yeah, but he doesn't look too happy either.
Oh, Soup Spatsy says, dude, you're right. Yeah, 100%. There you go. You verified the tire screech thing. So that's my contribution to this breakdown. That's all I can do.
Exclusive.
Man, post it on the timeline. Soup Spatsy, I'll let you have that one because you've got all the clout, man. Everyone listens to you. So you can chuck that on the timeline and
Max, what you do is you make a tweet about it and tag Lewis and then send a link to the movie buffs.
Yeah, say live right now, exclusive from the movie buffs. There is a tire screech. So yeah, you can have the credit on that tweet. If that blows up, then there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do it.
Exclusivo, yes.
Do it.
Exactly. All right. Well, Soup Spatsy be on that, and then because everyone will be like, "Whoa, that's this amazing revelation," they'll all flock to the stream, and then they'll be massively dissatisfied.
16 million people will come here. I think it's this groundbreaking podcast.
I know. Like I'm the only one who's heard the trailer with my ears. Everyone else just watched it on mute, and I'm like, oh wow, I heard the tire screech, guys. Come on.
That's awesome, though. That's a good catch.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm not. I can't like. This is the thing, right? I've watched it several times, but when I've got the image up here, I've got it. It's like really small on my screen, so I can hardly see anything. So what I might actually do is just open up I've got the pictures saved, so let's have a look. What can we see? Oh god, it still doesn't do any damage. Well, there is another tire next to his right knee. Yep, the arm you can see seems to be just a lot of wreckage mostly. I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the other thing.
Pieces from a truck.
Yeah. Actually, I think you're right. The face of the mother box that he's coming out of is all like a circuitry, computer circuitry, rather than other backgrounds that other sides of the mother box have. So it's all obviously reflecting his more cybernetic aspects or whatever. So yeah, that was a nice little detail. It's just the face of the mother box is like that. And the other thing that I guess it's nice is the fact that he appears first. You know, so obviously reinforcing that he's the heart of the movie. He's central to the movie, whatever. I thought that was really nice that it was him straight away, and that it's him, you know, the lasers that he emits or whatever that essentially connect all of the League members together.
Remember Zach said as well, like I think a fan asked Zach, what scene are you most looking forward to for fans to see first? And he goes, just Cyborg. Everything got to do with Cyborg, so he's definitely pushing the narrative that Cyborg is an important character.
I'm super looking forward to that because it's just taking this not obscure character, because obviously he's well loved from like the Teen Titans shows and stuff like that. But in the context of a Justice League with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, to say, hey, I want Cyborg to be front and center for this whole thing is awesome, you know. And hearing like Junkie XL talking about the score for his I guess origin scene, if you will, I like that, and I love the idea of perhaps the music surrounding Cyborg being a lot kind of darker and depressed at the start, and then, you know, ascending into this awesome triumphant stuff at the end as he finds his place within the team. Above the, I don't know if you have the trailer up or whatever, but above the tire, I can't quite make out what it is that is there. It kind of looks like a globe, but I'm really struggling to make out what it is. And I took like basically all the screenshots that I took are kind of from like the very last frame before it moves on to another character. So I tried to catch as much as possible. So it may be quite hard to make things out. But I cannot.
I will try and get it up now. But yeah, it's then his lit. Can he do laser eye, or can he shoot lasers through his robotic eye? Is that a canon thing?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would assume that would just be a cool functionality that he has. And I guess, like, you know, we've seen in the last trailer that, because obviously there are things that, you know, whether they're canon before or not, it is, you know, Zack's discretion as to what he puts in this. But in the most recent, you know, big trailer that we got, the fact that when we see that moment of Superman taking off and it cuts instantly to Cyborg as that like connection of two characters who are going through similar journeys, you know, maybe it could be a nice visual comparison if Cyborg can also shoot a fucking laser from his eye. I mean, like, why not?
Yeah, it'd be cool, wouldn't it?
His suit, his chest is also like, oh yeah, God, yeah. I mean, if he's got all this other stuff, like, it'd be pretty cool if he could shoot a laser. But maybe for the sake of this, it's just more of a visual glue for the League members. But I was just saying his chest looks like it's been kind of like pulled apart, which is pretty like visceral, man. It's pretty, you know, like someone's grabbed him and just like pulled his ribs. So, sorry, I've just spotted his other arm. So he's got the one arm on the far side that you can see sticking up, and then you've got the second one. So yeah, the forearms are nice and prominent. Okay.
So detailed, unreal.
Let's move on to the old next one, where we have good old Batman. How is it going, Batman? Let's just enlarge this a little bit. It's very dark, so I apologize.
This is my favorite one. The Batman one is my favorite.
Let's have a look. Batman. Okay, so I cannot remember the name of the reference that this that Batman's like pose connected to the pillar is called. I'm sure somebody will correct me. But he's being held against the Pillar of Justice with Martha's pearls. We've got Gotham City in the background. We've got the Bat Light. We've got the gun used by Joe Chill on the top left. We've got Joker's card to the right, above Wayne Manor. Wayne Manor's. I'm trying to see if Wayne Manor looks more like destroyed, like we saw in BVS, or if this looks like.
Did you say Joker's card?
Yeah.
There's Joker card in it. I didn't see that.
Oh, well, there you go. Another exclusive. Now, this is something that I saw somebody else had seen. Above Wayne Manor, you can see a card.
Very cool.
And then Robin's grave is in the bottom right, and I believe that to the left of that's the entrance to where his parents were buried. I cannot remember if there was anything else. I could have sworn I remember somebody spotting something earlier, but I cannot remember.
The train tracks?
Yes. Yes, that's it. How the Wayne family built their estate.
Yeah. Well, I was theorizing that maybe this is how Robin died, and some tear tracks or something like that. But then someone said something better. It's like, no, it's the foundation of the Wayne kind of family. As you said, the tracks in the family, which kind of makes more sense. But it was cool to see the Dick Grayson grave. I'm surprised that was never put into the Batman v Superman film. Surprised they never stuck that in
just
somewhere.
Like a behind the scenes thing, wasn't it? That Zack just confirmed.
That would have been pretty emotional if he went to Dick Grayson's grave before he went to fight Superman. That would have been pretty interesting. I thought that was something that always should have been in Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
But we did get to see him kind of looking at the suit of Robin, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure it'd be an interesting question to pose to Zach. You know, is there anything like that, any more homages to Robin and in BVS that were cut for whatever reason? But I kind of feel like Zach would have kept that if he had the choice. If they did do it, you know, who knows? But
it's interesting because this is like we get to see Justice just after we get to see Batman. Like Justice is engraved into the just below him. Like this seems like Batman's being brought to justice for all the bad he has done. It doesn't seem like a hero's debt. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like the hero is being is sacrificing himself. He's obviously tied to this post, and he's just left for dead. So I found that interesting. Why is Batman depicted in this way? As his demons finally caught up with him.
I mean, that's an interesting dynamic. You know, are these scenarios that we see them in, are these referencing specific points in time, or you know, is it meant to be this is a reflection of Batman's character pre BVS or pre Justice League, or is this just some general, you know, tribute to each character? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? What does seem apparent is that Max's tweet has brought the people. We have lots of people saying hi in the chat. Hello to everybody. What is up? What's up, guys? Yeah, I mean, it's going good. We're just breaking down a little teaser here. Having some fun. Hope everybody else is doing all right. Nice to see everyone stop by and say hi. Appreciate the support. It's really nice of you guys.
Yes. This Batman one was probably my favorite because there's so much detail in it, and it's so striking to see the caped hero just left for dead in this pole. So I thought.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. When I first watched the trailer, it just looked very I don't know. It seemed very strange because of the pose that he's doing. He kind of looks like he's like flaunting, you know, and he's like walking down the street and like mincing it or whatever. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then you have to, you know, do a double take and see, oh, okay, well, obviously the reference and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's cool. It's really fucking cool. Next up, we have The Flash doing his good old thing. So in terms of the stuff that I just have to get this picture up on full screen so I can actually see what's going on. We've got him standing on the galaxy, I believe. You know, there's planets everywhere, and it looked like a puddle at first, but it has like a distinctive swirl to it that, you know, implies a galaxy, and there's planets everywhere. And then he is in front of a clock. There's cogs everywhere. You can see the Roman numerals all around him. There's hot dogs, which I thought initially thought that they were for. I thought they were like giant raindrops or whatever, because obviously there's one that's like front and center of the frame that is a raindrop. But yeah, looking again, you can clearly see the bread wrapping around the dog. So I mean, that's cool. Obviously, the referencing the Kirsey Clements save, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he's obviously attached to a clock there as well. You can see the Roman numerals behind him. Maybe a tribute towards the Watchmen Doomsday Clock as well. But you also have pieces of the clock all over the place. As you said, the galaxy kind of look. Some people were saying maybe it's his footprint of him running so fast, but it's also in the same shape as the galaxy. And so that's a pretty cool one in the Flash, and also his lightning strike going straight through his body, kind of making him appear to be about to be breaking in half. So that's an interesting part. But yeah, time is a big influence on this teaser, this promo, because the song by Tom Waits is called Time, and there's a big giant clock here that's ripped apart, and then when we get to Wonder Woman, there's actually a watch. So,
and I mean, what else have we got? We've got Nora Allen's grave. We've got the prison cell above that. I'm guessing it's in reference to the fact that it's Henry being in prison.
Oh yes.
We've got the sundial in the top right. And this is one thing that I couldn't place. I didn't know what this was in reference to. I'm
sure people probably have it solved, but it's probably.
I mean, it's another thing to, you know, another way of telling the time. But I don't know if there's something specifically within Flash's, you know, comics, whether it's a specific reference to a bird bath, whatever. Not bird bath, a sundial. Where did I get bird bath from? Trying to spot anything else.
I bet you Zach, I bet you there's so much stuff that we missed as well.
Oh yeah,
everyone did.
Yeah,
and Zach's gonna be like, He might not even tell us, but if he does, I bet you we're like, oh my god, yeah. There's also did you talk about the telescope at the right hand side?
Oh yeah, yep. From his work in a crime lab.
Yeah, that's pretty cool as well. I like that one. So yeah, I think that's all that's in that image.
When you say that, there will be something that creeps up. Oh, he's holding the I can't. This is the thing. I had a list. There was a tweet that I had that named each of the references of each of these the characters and whatnot, and it's Flash holding the staff he's holding, and I honestly can't remember the name of it for my life. This is really annoying. There's no doubt somebody in the chat saying, "It's this, you moron! It's this," but whatever. But hey, I tried, guys. I tried. At least I had the tweet at some point in time. Cut me some slack. Yeah. Also, another thing.
I didn't even see it. Yeah.
Oh, go on.
No, I didn't even see that until you pointed it out. So.
Oh, there you go, man. I'm doing a lot of heavy lifting. This is a lot of. The one thing I was gonna say that the pose he's doing. It's like he's won a race. You're running through the tape on the finish line and saying like, "Yes, look at me," and I'm taking the applause, rather than like an action stance or anything. And of course that is obviously a reference to something else. But one of the other little tiny details that is just nice to see is the fact that you can just about make out all the wires that are holding his suit together. And obviously, of course, they're gonna display his suit as it is in the film.
Yeah.
But it's like that's such a minute thing, and it's such a tiny little detail that it's still just nice to be able to point at and see. Oh yeah, he's still got the wires holding his suit together. So that's another thing I'm interested to see if there is any sequels. Evolutions of the Flash suit would be really cool. Get the whole.
I'm sure Batman v Superman was a different suit than the one he's wearing now in Justice League. The one that pulls over his head automatically. So he definitely has some sort of transition.
Oh yeah, of course, and we've seen the Nightmare stuff like behind the scenes. It's just the idea of like some Wayne tech helping improve the suit to the point where it's just like all smooth or whatever, or whatever. That's why we want sequels, so we can see all the Flash suits. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, apologies if we've missed anything. I think I've seen some like swirls in the top left that look like more galaxies. And then I'm guessing the heavy focus on the rain would be maybe the storm for getting his powers initially, perhaps. But
yeah, and he can run and slow down time, so you could probably see the raindrops.
Yes. Okie dokie. Well, that's the Flash. Let me just... right, here we go. Next up on our lovely list is Aquaman. Doo-doo-doo. So there were a lot of these. I only took this one because it was right at the end. There was like essentially two, I think, big shots of for Aquaman. So the one that I don't have here is, I think it's the shot like just below his feet, where you've got like a temple and you've got all the fish and whales and stuff like that. There was stuff like there was a Stone Quarry logo on a drink,
the whiskey bottle.
Yeah. So that was a cool thing to see.
And like he's on a giant squid or an octopus here. Like, is that a throne or is he actually? I think maybe it's a throne. Maybe it's like it's not an actual octopus. It's just like it looks like a seat that's made of an octopus. But that's pretty badass.
That sounds pretty sadistic. You imagine if you're just an octopus, rolling around in Atlantis, and you see your best friend's just been turned into a chair. You're like, oh my god, that's horrible. Yeah. But I think you might be right. There's just below his hand, his left hand, you've obviously got the tentacle, whatever, and then you've got like it's kind of like a flat surface and maybe some lines. So it kind of looks like that's like a foundation for something, and the squid's just been put on top, octopus has been put on top or whatever. I think in terms of the Easter eggs specifically, there's probably more to the other shot than this one. So apologies for just focusing on the characters, guys. Like, I don't know. It seems like his arm. He looks like he's got armor on his shoulders and wrists, but nothing on his chest. Like I don't remember Jason having like scaled shoulders like that. Obviously he has the tattoos on his forearms or whatever. But it's kind of like he's half wearing armor.
Yeah,
and wearing trousers.
Well.
And he's wearing trousers.
Yeah, So he'd hardly be wearing like a metal armor on top and then just normal trousers.
I mean, quite the sight to see. Can you imagine, the top half gold suit from
Yeah.
Aquaman and some trackies, but
So
yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like,
I think that's, and even directly after this shot, there's kind of you get to see two kind of jugs or something. I don't really know what they are. And then it moves over to the Superman one. So yeah, there isn't too much. I don't think there is in the Aquaman one, but Zach tells us all the Easter eggs from the Aquaman one, and there's more in this one than the other one or something.
yeah, it's like the most crucial details to the plot are all just in the screenshot that I didn't bring onto this one. But hey, it's one of those things like everyone can do their own analysis into this, and I'm sure I'm gonna revisit this as well to see if I can see some more stuff. But for the purpose of this show, just focusing on these last big shots with the characters in them. So that's my excuse. And then next up we have the Superman one, which is what Zach released on Vero before the IGN teaser, specifically referencing him as our Superman, which was quite
on the day that a reboot's announced.
Yeah, it was quite timely, but it's all very dramatic at the point. But I'm sure we can have a bit more in-depth discussion about Superman casting and all that when we get something a bit more concrete. But for the purpose of this, we've got a new Superman film with Henry Cavill coming out in like 3 weeks, so why would I care about anything else right now? So this came out on Vero. A lot going on. We've got the World Engine, we've got the bus from Man of Steel, we've got the Codex. I believe out of frame, it might be on the top right, is his crash pod, the Kryptonite Spear on the right. I think the Kent farmhouse is at the bottom as well.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got the Motherbox like flexing around his chest where he was stabbed in BVS. I don't know.
And what they called what they call the thing that did you say that's the Daily Planet sign on the right hand side?
Oh no, I didn't say that. Oh yeah.
It's the staff, the spear, that's the Daily Planet logo.
Oh, there you go. All right, well, that's something I didn't spot.
And then below that is I don't know what it's called, but he pushed it into the Kryptonian ship.
Oh yeah, well, no, that wasn't the Codex. The Codex was the skull thing, wasn't it? Was that called the Codex? I'm having a complete brain fart at the moment.
Yeah, I can't. The Kryptonian names aren't my first language, so I forgot about it. But yeah, the one that even Lois had to push it in as well. Remember on the ship. So that's there. There's so much stuff in it. So it's kind of his full transition in the character that we've seen, and then of course it looks like the Motherbox is healing his spear wound. Maybe?
Yeah. There is that fundamental tie between his death and the Motherboxes. So yeah, whether there is some healing relationship that we see. I mean, that's another thing I'm actually quite interested to see is how much exactly Superman's resurrection differs in Zack's cut than it does in Whedon's cut, because the whole like dust rising at the end of BVS was just completely ignored in Justice League. So I wonder if Zack has some additional payoff for that. Like Lois is staring at, comes back to the grave and sees the dust rising, and then she looks and it goes, oh shit, and dust goes back down, and then she walks off and starts coming back up again. I don't know.
Many people were saying, like, I just seen many people on Twitter saying it's going to be the same as the theatrical cut, or near enough the same. I don't think it is. I think there's going to be something very different about it, because I think Zack will come up with something a little bit more interesting than maybe Flash running and just touching the Motherbox at the exact moment it touches the water.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a little bit more to it. I think maybe Wonder Woman might be involved, and maybe even I think the League have a meeting in this Justice League cut about resurrecting Superman, and I don't think all of them will agree. So maybe Batman takes things into his own hands to do it. So I don't know. I just think it's going to be different. I don't think it's going to be the exact same.
There were a couple of things in the Whedon cut that you just kind of reminded me of that I actually really liked. I like the "You won't let me live, you won't let me die" line. I mean, there are some holes in that you could say, well, at the end he didn't try and kill you in BVS, but if Superman's just like stir crazy from resurrection, I thought that was a really cool line. Just the delivery was really menacing, stuff like that. So it's just like, it'd be interesting to see if in Zack's cut there is, I mean, obviously we know there is a fight with Superman, but how he reacts to Batman would be, if he's really like unhinged, what's stopping him from just murdering him, then and there. And hey, maybe we won't get blue balled like we did in the Whedon cut of like, oh, the big guns. Like, what is this gonna be? Okay, it's Lois. All right, you know. I don't doubt that she is a big gun, but like you're making it seem like some other hero was gonna turn up. But whatever. This is not the time or place for breaking down Justice League. It is the time and place for looking at Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. Yeah, this one was interesting too because of we see a heart. We also see a gas mask.
Mm-hmm.
I think the gas mask is probably Dr. Poison, is it, from Wonder Woman 1? Is that what the character was called, Dr. Poison?
Yeah.
The one making the tear gas, the gas, like to kill people. Maybe that's in reference to her. And then the heart, something many people are interested on. Does she rip someone's heart out? Is it her own heart? Like, what exactly does what do you think the heart's about?
I mean, my initial guess was this just probably... When I first saw the heart before I saw anything else, I thought this is just some connection to Steve Trevor, saying, you know, she's had her heart broken or whatever, and she's... and then she finds, like, that fulfillment again from the League. But then you see things like you see Steve's watch from Wonder Woman 1, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if it would be like a double barrel reference to Steve. I gotta hold my hand up and say I have no idea. Like, it could be in any number of
interesting
things.
As well, if you pause it just right, the lightning bolt goes right through the heart.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which is interesting. Maybe her electricity, her power in that way can help maybe bring back Superman, maybe, or maybe that's what my kind of theory was.
Maybe Flash is going to do some CPR on Wonder Woman at some point in the film. You know, who knows?
Yeah, or she could just rip out someone's heart and just maybe step him up. She rips out his heart and chops his head off.
It's like Indiana Jones style, and it's like that wacky where she just kind of like reaches off frame, and then it's just Steppenwolf like as his heart's pulled out. What is, you might have to like go back a frame from what I've got, but what is above the heart? Like again, as I said before, several times, I tried to get these at the final frame so that you could get as much as possible. But the only downside with the Wonder Woman one is you've got the Motherbox like glowing as hell.
We figured this out on Real Talk Live last night. It's the camera that took the picture in Wonder Woman 1 of the group together.
All right, that's cool.
That's what it is.
That's very nice. I was going to say, because like the Motherbox is like spewing out light at the moment, and I can't quite make out what it is. The chains and all, I think, were meant to represent her being like representing Joan of Arc, I believe was the comparison for Wonder Woman. But yeah, carry on.
But then just after the chains, that seems to be Erie's skull or his head, his helmet.
Yes, so the OG look.
Yeah, so yeah, that's her transition as well that we've seen Wonder Woman in the Snyderverse.
Then we've got Steve's watch. We've got the helmet, which I think people were saying is more of a reference to the Elseworld story that Zach made reference to, like soldiers, Crimean War, I think, right?
Yeah.
Would have had that helmet. But then I think I saw somebody also saying that it had a very similar resemblance to German soldiers in World War One. What are they called? People who study history. What's the word? Historians. Jesus, I couldn't think of the word then to save my life. I was thinking like historicist. That was terrible. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will be able to correct me on that one, but yeah, it's cool. Any teasers towards that Elseworld story is going to be a happy days because that just looks so badass.
Yeah, maybe indication it might become canon in some way in the Snyderverse. Maybe who knows? You might want to revisit it.
And then the last thing that I pointed out was that I found that some of the Batsy, I believe, was one of the first people to spot this on Twitter, was the transition right at the end before the Motherboxes unite. You seemingly have the X Martian Manhunter's logo as the cubes, as the Motherboxes spin. So that was just something I thought checking right at the end, which I like. But I mean, like, this is definitely just like inspirational to just go back and just frame by frame by frame, see what you can spot, because it's nice when you get to see someone like Zach who's a very deliberate. I think Zach probably reads the definition of Chekhov's gun like every day before he wakes up, before he gets out of bed. Like, he's the most deliberate director I've ever seen. So when you have something like this, which is so purely intentional, dedicated to him just being mischievous in what Easter eggs he can insert. You want to go into this, you know?
Yeah, he's detailed. Everything means something with him. So yeah, it was cool breaking it all down. And then near the end, the Motherboxes kind of smashed together and become one in some way. So yeah, it's. I wonder, will this be the opening to the film? I think this. I think we'll press play and we'll get this, but with credits, maybe Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill. That'd be cool. I'm still hoping out if this isn't the Watchmen opening or a Watchmen-esque scene like that, I hope we do get one. Just of the Justice League, like a freeze frame of just Batman with some an explosion behind him holding down some criminal or something like that. I think it'd be pretty badass.
Something that also tells the tale of the fallout of Superman's death. I think, you know, having that intertwined from, you know, going from the end of BVS to, because obviously like the key part of what made that Watchmen montage so successful is that it gives you the historical context of decades gone by, and you have the evolution of, you know, like the rise of the heroes, and it's all this happy days, and then it all goes wrong, and it tells you everything you need to know in like 5 minutes. So having that journey from, you know, the end of BVS to where Justice League starts through a montage like that would be, I mean, I think that would be awesome. But hey, we just have to wait and see, you know?
Yeah, not long left to go.
Not long left to go, indeed. So let me just.
Speaking of not long left to go, are we finished this? Are we finished this topic?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm giving all the viewers headaches from doing transitions to all the different scenes because I was trying to see if there was a different scene, but I will just hide that, and I will just sort out the overlay. Yes, you can transition all you want into our next topic.
I was going to say, speaking of not long to go, WandaVision last episode's coming up this week.
It is.
We got to see episode 8, which was I thought it was an interesting episode. It told us a lot of stuff that we probably have already presumed about WandaVision.
Yeah.
But it was an episode where it didn't really move the plot forward too much. It didn't really progress the story. It just kind of told us this is all the traumatic experiences in Wanda's life. The loss of her parents, how it happened, Pietro, all those kinds of things. And then, of course, Agatha is trying to figure out how is Wanda able to use this power like this? How is she able to make this hex? Because Agatha is a witch, and she was trained to be a witch, but Wanda was never trained to be a witch, but she's as powerful as a witch. She's probably she's a Scarlet Witch, as Agatha said.
Mm-hmm.
But in this episode, we also get to see that the general was lying about Wanda breaking into the sword base and stealing Vision's body. That's not what happened whatsoever.
Yep.
So yeah, but I just thought it was a very good episode, visually stunning, emotional, acting brilliant. It just didn't move the plot forward that much, considering we're going into the last episode with so many questions.
Yeah, well, I mean, it pains me. It physically pains me that it was about 20 minutes into the episode that I remembered the alias of Scarlet Witch, and I was just like, Jesus Christ! Like, it's like, what is the significance of Agnes being of Agatha, being a witch? And it just like hit me like in the middle of some random scene. And I was like, how could I forget her her name? And I'm like, okay. Then there's the connection between her wanting to, and that kind of really just fills in the pages of why specifically she's after Scarlet Witch. You know, wanting to know how she does it. But it's physically painful. It's one of those things that you really shouldn't say when you're on a show that's supposedly called, you know, that labels us as buffs. Like 5 minutes into this episode, I went, oh, for God's sake, yeah, of course. But stupid realizations aside, I really enjoyed it. And I think one of the things that I want to bring attention to, well, I don't really need to bring attention to because everyone was talking about it, was the writing of the scene with her and Vision and the point about that really awesome line of, you know, what is grief if not love persevering? And I mean, I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter about that, and so many people saying, I lost a pet recently, I lost a family member, I lost a friend recently, and that line was just, that resonated so much with me, and it just helped find a way of people being able to phrase their grief and being able to like really be able to just say, okay, that helps me feel better about grief because it's just my feelings for whoever I've lost carrying on. And like, goddamn, like the writers of that episode, they deserve a huge pat on the back because it was beautiful. And it really helped kind of give you a really good indication as to Vision and Wanda's kind of relationship at that point in time, of him just trying to be there to help comfort her or whatnot. And there's that kind of awkwardness, but like they're still laughing with each other and still making each other comfortable. Because it was one of the things that I kind of felt was, I don't know, not forced, but could have done with a bit more fuel to it, was their relationship and that like coming to fruition. So having seen that episode, it, you know, that really kind of just cements that as being a really great relationship. So yeah, I don't know, credits to Paul Bettany for his delivery in that scene, and credits all around. I think it was really good, and it really kind of, if you think about, like, I talking to one of my friends who's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get into watching WandaVision or whatever, and I'm like, first couple episodes are a bit slow or whatnot, and then it's like now there's so much more like emotional weight to those episodes that you get with that with today. But yeah, full credit, I thought it was fantastic in my opinion.
Yeah, and she stole the show, the dramatic moments, the comedic moments, the nailing the sitcom element.
Yeah,
she's been absolutely brilliant. And I wouldn't be surprised if she does get some award buzz, because really unbelievable stuff. And yeah, it was like the visuals, the visual effects team on WandaVision should be given a big raise, because it's unbelievable some of the stuff that they're able to do with the Hex, and then Wanda's powers, and then of course her vision of seeing Scarlet Witch with the yellow kind of light. I thought it was visually brilliant.
Yeah,
and yeah, the episode didn't move the plot forward too much, but
no,
it had that emotional substance to it. It made you feel a lot more for Wanda.
Yeah,
considering everything she's going through. And Agatha, as a big baddie villain, she isn't one of the best. She's kind of weak enough right now. It could be different. The finale could change that. It could be a different villain. We'll have to wait and see. But I think it was trying to, like, it kind of insinuated that Wanda's had her power since she was a child, because the Stark bomb never went off. And they just said, oh, it never went off. But maybe it was Wanda who made that happen. Maybe she's the one who controlled the bomb not to go off. So she's had her powers for a long time, and even the Mind Stone kind of gravitated towards her when she was being experimented on. Like, it killed other patients, but it kind of awoken her powers. So I think she's always had her powers, and maybe that's the sign that she was a mutant.
Maybe, because the convention within the MCU is that she got it from Hydra experimentation, right? That's the general idea. I mean, who knows? Again, I mean, yeah, the mutant argument is definitely convincing, but like, I'm interested to see how Pietro's, Evan Peters is going to factor into the end, because I think there was a thumbnail. No. There was a thumbnail that he wasn't in that somebody edited him into. But the fact that we had that post-credits scene for the episode before last, the fact that Agatha's kind of really banged on about fake Pietro, I just made him up or whatever. Yeah. It seems to undermine the idea that he has been seemingly brought in from this multiverse reality. So I don't know. Maybe there's going to do some kind of like trickery of like, oh yeah, no, he is actually the Fox's Quicksilver. And here's the explanation. Here's, Agatha just all of a sudden was like, oh, I'm going to convince Scarlet Witch that random dude crossing the street over there is her brother. I don't know. I hope that there is some kind of decent explanation, because it's like the whole point of him showing up, the whole shock factor was to go, but that's Quicksilver from, the Fox's universe or whatever. So
yeah, I
don't know. Hopefully they don't undermine it, because the foundations are set for something pretty damn cool. But at the same point, I do respect the fact that they're keeping the focus kind of strictly on Wanda, rather than saying, oh, this is going to hint at a multiverse. We're going to make a multiverse with this, constantly trying to set up everything else. It's just giving the show its own time to breathe, which I think is something that could have very easily just been swept under the carpet. Let's just have this whole thing build up to a multiverse and do some foundation work for Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and stuff like that. But no, it's like, yeah, we're going to give you a satisfying story in and of itself, which is like a basic aspect of making a TV show, but like it's still something I respect.
What do you think? Or I did say a few weeks ago that I thought, oh, unbelievable, Quicksilver, Evan Peters. But I'm kind of prepared for him to just be a random person who's given the role as Pietro. But then why do you cast him? Is it just for a cheap gag? I think a lot of people are going to be annoyed if it is.
Yeah.
People want to see these characters, and the multiverse is being put into this 3-story arc. So maybe we do get to see but he's from the X-Men universe because the multiverse was opened up. Maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, whatever it is, hopefully it's an interesting arc his character's had. Hopefully it's not just there for a gag and he's a nobody. Because that will be kind of disappointing because Evan Peters is too talented to just be used like that. He's bad. He's a badass actor and he was bringing the sitcom elements. So I hope they do use him more. But what did you think of the post-credits scene, the ending with White Vision? So what do you think that's going to play out?
I don't know. This is the thing that there's so many like ideas that pop into my head, like from the insane to the just like the relatively straightforward of like, oh, they're just going to use him to try and capture Wanda, or something insane that's like, oh, he's Ultron reincarnated or whatever. I think we've seen things like James Spader is supposedly listed on the cast list for WandaVision, the voice of Ultron. So I don't know, but that could mean literally anything. That could mean he's going to be like when this new Vision starts talking, he's got James Spader's voice, or there's going to be a nightmare scene with Ultron. It could literally mean anything. Or James Spader could literally just walk into a scene and start talking, and you're like, okay, well, fair enough. Yeah. Just as like a way to fuck with Wanda or whatever. But I don't know.
Well, Ultron had to get his voice from somewhere.
He did.
Could be just a random person.
Well, that's the thing. I'm currently watching.
Pop up as a random person.
I'm currently watching. I'm on the penultimate season of The Office at the moment, and James Spader is in it. And when he first showed up, I was like, I've definitely seen him before, and I think it was a TV show that was on Sky years ago called. I think it was called The Blacklist. I might be wrong. I was like, I think he was in that, and I was like, I recognize him. And then he started talking. And I was like, I know the voice. And then, as soon as I was like, oh shit, it's the guy who voiced Ultron. Now it's like, you just can't not hear it. Now it's like every scene, it's just like a normal mundane office in Pennsylvania led by Ultron. Like, it's fucking crazy, right? But yeah, I mean, he didn't talk, Vision, he didn't seem to be the same Vision, because he was just like, all right. If it was the same Vision and he went through this whole process of being dismantled and then being put back together, and not, you would think that maybe there'd be some kind of like, what the hell just happened? What has happened to me? So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's some the fact that this will be some kind of evil Vision or whatever that's controlled that she has to destroy, and then that would help her maybe just like get past her grief. I mean, murdering your husband twice doesn't exactly give you a lot of push to move on, but maybe some way for her to get closure on the whole situation. Or he dies again and then this causes her to just go fucking insane, right? It's
like we could get Vision versus Vision, the Hex Vision versus this White Vision. That could happen.
That'd be pretty
cool.
It could
be Ultron that's inside Vision. It could be Ultron that's in Vision's body. It could be Vision brought back to life, but he's manipulated to be not bad, but just to fight Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Because the General, I don't think is a bad guy. I just think he's trying to do the right thing and protect people. And he looks at Wanda as a threat, and he doesn't know anything about Agatha or what else is going on. So I think he's just doing his job. He's created, like, he always wanted. They were experimenting on Vision because they wanted to bring Vision back to life. It's probably a mirror image storyline of Tony Stark in Age of Ultron, where he wanted to build a shield around Earth because he had this PTSD about what could happen after New York, after the Avengers. And I think the General has the same PTSD, got to do with the 5-year times, 5-year time
gap.
I'm going
span.
Like whenever, that's it. When everyone dusted, so he probably has that kind of feeling that I don't want this to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably, that's his intention, was to always bring Vision back, but not as like an evil villain, but just as somebody who can fight off these threats because he is powerful. So I think that's what he's going to use Vision for. And then maybe Wanda is able to beat that Vision, but is able to put the Hex subconscious Vision into the real body of this recreated Vision. And that's how Vision comes back to life. Maybe. But then maybe he dies again, so I'll have to wait and see. But
it's pretty horrible reality, just constantly dying and coming back to life.
Yeah. Paul Bettany's like, oh, you're killing me again? Well, at least I know I'm coming back because you've done it 3 times already.
Yeah. Poor man.
But, but the thing is, we've got 1 episode left and there's so much questions left. And it should be over an hour long, this episode.
All I saw is that it's 50 minutes. That's what I've seen. But It's whether that's...
Is that all?
Yeah, that's... But again, don't quote me on that, but I'm fairly sure that that's the case. And if that's including credits, then that means it's like a 10-minute long episode. So, But...
Yeah. The showrunner said it was 6 hours altogether, and I kind of added up all the run times from each episode, and I was left with 73 minutes. So I don't know.
I mean, I'd be happy if it was. I'd love for it to be 73 minutes long.
We have a comment from Vision chat.
Oh God, are you alright, buddy?
Why Tyler mislead Monica about Vision's body? So the general, why do you mislead? I don't know why he wanted. Maybe because it justified his actions of bringing Vision back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because he said that Wanda's the one who took Vision. Maybe it made him not look as bad, bringing Vision back and to use as a weapon. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, I think that the what is it? Occam's razor, right? It's like the simplest explanation. The correct explanation is often the simplest one. I guess this show is kind of the exact opposite of Occam's razor, but I think maybe just being like she wasn't there. She was technically dead. Like, I can just tell her what I want her to know, and if I feel like she's going to be any form of rebellious, if I tell her that she rocked up and then all this trauma, she saw us tearing apart her dead husband's body, like it doesn't exactly paint him in a good picture. I'm definitely in the camp that you're in. I don't see him as a villain. I think he's just very mission centric, and he's got like there's a job, and I mean, if you kind of abstract yourself away from the characters that we know, and love, and you go from his perspective and say, oh, okay, yeah, well, this is a multi-billion-dollar sentient weapon or whatever that has this insane amount of power that's fueled by this stone that is capable of all of this crazy stuff. Like, yeah, you kind of want to keep tabs on it, and maybe disassociate yourself from the human aspects of Vision, just to be able to control this power. Because I mean, it's essentially what you have the likes of like Tony did, as you said, with Age of Ultron, wanting to utilize all of the wealth and resources at his disposal to protect the greater good. But I mean, I don't really think he's a villain. Why he would mislead her, I would have to put that down to just wanting to not cause kind of dissent in the ranks, and if everyone's got the same story of she came in and stole it, she's the bad guy. Maybe it'd be something that becomes clear, but I don't see Hayward's motives as being like too primary a focus for the story. I think there's a lot more important questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because imagine if Ultron got in the hands of Hydra, or a Vision, like Vision, if he was in Hydra's hands, like this would be bad, really bad. So there's a lot of stake there. With Vision's body, if it got into the wrong hands, it could cause another Age of Ultron again. So, I think he's just trying to do the right thing, but maybe he's not always justified in his actions, but he thinks he is because,
just some simple kind of like misdirection just to make you think, oh, the military general's a bad guy,
Yeah.
I think it's not. I mean, who knows? There might be some reveal where he just like all of a sudden just like he's a Hydra agent or whatever, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, okay. I mean, that could be a twist coming, but we'll make a note. If I'm right, then we'll say I called that. But if I'm not, we'll ignore it. I don't know. It could be anything. My investment is like, I'm like curious about him as a character, but my focus is like all the more pressing things. Like, what the hell is this new Vision? Part of me does think that if he was like an Ultron incarnate, that they would have teased it in that scene, like he would have said something, and it would have been James Spader, it would have been Ultron's voice, and it would have been set up the finale. Like, holy crap, the fact that he didn't say anything kind of makes me think that it's just going to be Paul Bettany again. Not that that's bad.
Even his eyes, if they went red as like Ultron, that you would have think, oh my god, it could be Ultron, but they didn't really give any signs that it was Ultron. The only sign they've given that Ultron is a big part of this is after every episode. Do you want to watch Age of Ultron?
It's literally just you get recommended every single time. So I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe it's just like, Age of Ultron's probably like our like least well received Avengers movie. So let's just create an entire series, make it the most popular show on the planet, and then we'll just peddle Age of Ultron at the end just so people can watch it. Who knows?
It could be like what the prequels and the Rebels and Clone Wars did for the prequels. It's like, oh, these were received bad. Well, we made spin-off shows that kind of clear up all the plot holes. So if you watch this, it kind of
Yeah.
helps. So maybe like WandaVision actually makes Age of Ultron a great movie if you break it all down. Which it could be, but we'll have to see with the finale. But like, I think people are going to die to lead Wanda to more madness.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to see. Well, maybe not people, Vision. But speaking of the dead,
Oh, that was good.
oh,
That's good. That's like top 5. I think that's top 5. That's really good.
yeah,
Yeah. Army of the Dead teaser trailer last Thursday. Looked pretty fucking good, didn't it?
yeah.
And we don't have a bias
it's,
towards Zack Snyder. I'm telling you, we do not have any sort of bias.
No,
We've never talked about the man before.
No, 2 of the 3 topics wouldn't be got to do with him or not.
No, they're just 2 films that just happen to be directed by the same guy. Like it's not a coincidence. No, it is a coincidence.
But yeah, it didn't really give us much. It wasn't like a teaser to go, oh my god, this film's going to be unbelievable. It just kind of said, this is a Zack Snyder film, this is how it's going to look, and it's going to be a zombie film. So the next trailer, of course, will have more. I'm still hyped for it. Can't wait.
Oh god, yeah.
But yeah, a lot of zombies as well. A lot. So, and then it's a little cool action scene where Dave Bautista's running on tables, maybe casino tables, and there's zombies coming all after him, and he's just shooting them. So yeah, I'm excited. The trailer didn't get me more hyped. Maybe the next trailer will, but I'm still looking forward.
Yeah, I think the next one will definitely be a story one. Like the whole we're gonna go and steal, this shit from Vegas or whatever. And we're gonna go fight the army of the dead, or it's just a really obvious shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think like this is one of those type of films where I don't want to say story is secondary, but the kind of the spectacle and the concept of this movie, the foundation concept of this, ragtag group of soldiers going into Vegas to steal shit that's infested by zombies before it gets nuked. Like, I think that alone is all the pull you need for this film. So yeah, obviously there will be a trailer story, but I mean it doesn't come out until like 21st of May, I believe. So
yeah,
there's still a lot of time to go, but it's definitely one. And I think Zach's kind of like prioritizing something else that might be dropping this month. But yeah, who knows? I thought it was badass, and I loved the trailer. And I loved the just slapping his name everywhere he possibly can. It's Zack Snyder, Snyder film, directed by Zack Snyder, written by Zack Snyder. People who don't like Zack Snyder are not having a fun 2021. Let's be honest.
And it's the first film that Zack has shot on digital, so that's going to be interesting to see.
And the first one with him being the cinematographer, right?
Yes. He did everything on this film, but it's also right now it's the longest runtime for a zombie film. This is going to be 2 hours and 19 minutes, he said, which is the longest, I think, of any zombie film. So, yeah, he's bringing new. Not only is Zack Snyder's Justice League a 4:3 ratio, and it's 4 hours long, longest comic book movie. This he's also bringing something new to the zombie genre.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like it's a genre that I think can very easily get kind of saturated and stale. So, but I mean, the idea of a zombie heist in a Vegas about to get nuked is just like that's like, okay, let's come up with some fresh original concept for a zombie movie. Let's make it a heist movie. I'm like sold instantly. Like whether Zach's name is on this film or not, like conceptually I'm like, holy crap, that sounds amazing, But I might be biased.
And I love zombies, so sign me up.
Exactly. Was there any other cool shit that was in the teaser that we're not acknowledging? I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
We didn't get a look at any of the characters really. We just a one-liner between 2 characters. That's about it. So until the next one, it's a very diverse cast all over the world. International cast. So I'm sure that will do well for Netflix and has the potential to be one of the biggest Netflix films of all time with a diverse cast and with them very much in the Zack Snyder game right now.
Yeah, I as given that the insight that we've had into the way that the Snyderverse or whatever has been treated by Warner Bros. It gives me like a sense of comfort knowing that if Warner Bros. Were like, no, we don't want anything to do with your films ever again, that somebody like Netflix would just be like, dude, here's a bunch of money. And that's the thing. That's one of the things I think you mentioned it last time we talked about Army of the Dead, where the like interview process was, or not interview process, but the discussion process he had with Netflix was just them like, okay, we'll just give you a shitload of money, just go make it. I think there was another director recently that came out and said that, it was just like 2 or 3 days ago, that said Netflix don't like have input story wise. They'll just give you a load of money and you go make what you want. And I'm like, that I love that, right? I love the idea of just Netflix giving directors the freedom to just do whatever the hell they want, because that's what's people don't go to Netflix for Netflix productions. They go to Netflix for, you know, the directors and the actors and the shows and stuff like that. It's like Netflix is separating itself from the creative process and knowing that if something sinks or whatever, that they're not essentially going to get the blame, because it's just like, oh, well, you know, we just, you know, let them run free. And then, but if it pays off, then Netflix win, you know? So it's just, that's what I'd love to see. So knowing that if Zack, you know, was done after Justice League, knowing that a company like Netflix, or, I mean, even HBO Max at the end of the day, like, would just say, you know, hey, we want you to make this. They've instantly, you know, they've doubled down on Army of the Dead already and made it its own franchise before the films even come out, before even a teaser came out. So it's nice to see that confidence in a director whose work you like. You know, it's cool.
Yeah, there's a spin-off coming as well, a prequel movie and then an animated show. So they're very much in the Army of the Dead universe. And like, I love Dawn of the Dead. The 2004 one's acted. So this one's going to be even bigger, more action because the budget's bigger. He's more of an established director, so he gets more freedom. So yeah, everyone's excited. And we've got 2 Snyder films in 2 months, really. So, like, what more could you ask for after 4 years of nothing from the man over other situations? But yeah, we're getting fed right this year.
We are indeed. Okie dokie. Well, I mean, I think that's basically it. I think that's all that there is to talk about. I mean, we've got everyone keep your eyes peeled. WandaVision finale, which we will talk about next time. We'll hopefully be live tomorrow on Sean's channel. I'll put a link in the description after the stream is over. For a hopefully. If not, we may end up back here. Like, oh no, Sean, it doesn't work that we can stream on your channel. Oh no, we have to go back to the movie bus. But yeah, so for a nice Man of Steel retrospective cool discussion tomorrow evening, hopefully. And then hopefully BVS and Justice League ones to come. But yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. I will just get us queued up for a little outro here. And yeah. Thank you everybody.
See you in the next one.
Bye.